Welcome to Local Ag. I'm your host, Melody Divers, a member of the Bedford County Economic Development Agricultural Advisory Board. It's time for another episode of Local Ag. This is where we aim to bridge the ag world with the non-ag world and strengthen community connections. Today's episode is the perfect combination of ag and community. We are here today with our 8th podcast, and we are highlighting the Society of St. Andrew. This well-established nonprofit is all about caring communities and offering kindness and nourishment to our hungry neighbors. Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Also, I have a co-host today.
I am here today.
Yes.
I'm excited to talk about them and talk with them.
Yes, absolutely. So for those of you that don't know that sweet voice, that is Dorothy McIntyre, and you may know her from being the manager of the Forest and Manita Farmers Market, correct?
That's correct, yes.
All right. So Dorothy's going to chime in whenever she wants, and then at the end, she's going to talk all things farmers market that she's planning. So,
Ramping up.
yeah, getting ready for that. So I will say that we are happy to have Chesley and Ben here with the Society of St. Andrew. And Dorothy was really excited about having y'all on here. Like, she was so excited that you guys could join us. So thank you. There was a lot of bragging about your organization. So I'm curious to hear firsthand of what all this goodness is about. So we're just going to jump in, and I'm going to start with you, Chesley. Just introduce yourself and your connection with what you do. And then when she's done, Ben, just hop on in. Okay?
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much, Melody. I'm Chesley Voden, and I am currently the Church Relations Director for the last 6 years at the Society of St. Andrew. And I love the mission. This year, I've been blessed to move into a new position as the first ever Virginia Regional Director.
Congratulations.
Right? Now, Ben has been our Virginia Program Coordinator for going on 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
so he's all things Virginia.
Okay.
But I'm about to be all things Virginia. And I'm just so delighted to be here today to talk about it.
Sure.
The mission of the Society of St. Andrew: we bring people together to harvest and share healthy food, to reduce food waste, and to build caring communities.
Mm-hmm.
That is our mission. We have a business model that I consider a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
We're a huge network. We use volunteer labor to go out into the fields or orchards or farmers markets or packing houses, any number, wherever it's offered, wherever it could be going to waste. And we glean.
Mm-hmm.
That just means harvest the leftovers
Mhm.
after the harvest, after the commercial harvesters have come through. Gleaning is an ancient biblical practice that they did back in 2,000 years ago. Ruth and Naomi.
That's
and
the first
Boaz.
thing I always hear.
Yeah,
When I hear
it's-
gleaning, I think of Ruth.
One of the best stories in the Bible. But
Mhm.
back in Bible days, the landowners were encouraged or commanded really to leave a portion of their fields or the edges of their fields for the widows, the orphans, the sojourners. I love to say that word, sojourners, travelers,
Yes.
foreigners. And we're still doing that today.
Wonderful.
So we rescue food. What could be destined for the landfill or for waste that's not marketable.
Right.
We go in and we harvest it, and then we turn around and donate it for free to food pantries, feeding agencies, underserved communities.
Wonderful.
It is a no-brainer.
Yes.
We are doing God's will at SOSA, and that is what
Great stewardship. Yes.
charges
Mm-hmm.
charges me up.
Yep. I love it. All right. Ben, can you follow that?
Sure, I can. No,
right, try.
I think Chesley did an amazing job of introducing what Society of St. Andrew does. As she mentioned, I'm the Virginia Program Coordinator, so I work directly with our local farmers who choose to participate in our ministry, as well as any gleaning groups or volunteer groups that come out to glean, and then churches and feeding agencies, food pantries, food banks, churches that have connections with underserved communities. And there's
So you help get the food to the organizations that can help distribute.
Yes.
Okay.
Or directly to the food pantry themselves.
Correct.
And
All
we
right.
do this through a number of ways. When I send emails out to people or talk with people on the phone or in person who've never heard of us before, I say we're kind of like the middleman. Like we bridge the gap between, farmers or wholesalers or suppliers that have, excess produce
Mm-hmm.
that is still fit for human consumption. And then communities, feeding agencies, food banks, et cetera, that have a need of fresh produce. And it would provide improved health outcomes, improved spirits, and lifts people up in a positive way.
Right. So you are really, and I have put that in my notes about bridging the gap from the people that have what is needed and to the people that need that. So thank you for bridging that gap. I think this is going to be a wonderful interview, and people are to use what you said, could be charged up to do good and participate and get involved. So let's go, and I don't care who answers this question. Let's start with simply the name of your group, which is the Society of St. Andrew. Can we talk about what that means and where that comes from?
Sure.
So, yeah,
You good for me to go?
Sure.
I'll go?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, once again, I love it. I come from a church background. And interestingly enough, the Society of St. Andrew was founded by two United Methodist pastors 45 years ago, 1979. I guess we're going on 46 now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So two United Methodist pastors had come home from Vietnam, and they were wanting to live sustainably off the land. Ken Horn and Ray Buchanan, some Bedford boys, but not to be confused with the
I know what you meant.
They came home and they spoke with their bishop, and they said, "Hey, we want to live sustainably, grow our own food, and live off the land." Bishop said, "That's great. I have one salary and one parsonage." And the guy said, "Great." They took their wives and 5 children between them, and they moved into this one house on Sweet Hollow Road out in Big Island. And they started preaching and preaching. And in 1983, we had our first potato drop, where they had been over on the Eastern Shore. And Butch Nottingham, a farmer over there, said, "I'll give you potatoes if you get rid of them." They got 40,000 pounds of potatoes delivered into the Lynchburg area, and they're going,
Now what?
but they did it.
Yeah.
They did it. And the truckloads kept coming, and the Potato and Produce Project was born. But the name Society of St. Andrew, if you remember back to Bible times, Andrew was the disciple that found the little boy with the 2 loaves and fish and took it to Jesus, and Jesus blessed it and fed the 5,000. So we are the Society of St. Andrew, and we go out and we find the small amount, and it's blessed by God, and it feeds the hungry. It feeds in abundance.
Right.
So Society of St. Andrew doesn't operate out of sense of lack, but a sense of abundance.
Beautifully said. Y'all, we might have church today.
We're having church. I can have church.
We might have church today,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
love
all
it.
right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say that's an added operating out of abundance, I think, is a great way to put it, Chesley. Especially going back to that story with St. Andrew and the loaves and the fishes. That's an unexpected abundance. And I remember very distinctly when I was being trained back in July or October 2023, one of the founders was speaking at a church, maybe in the 80s or during that time. During when he's speaking in the church, a farmer stands up. He's angry. He said, "I don't leave any potatoes behind." And the other one was like, "Okay, well, we'll prove that there's extra." And then, they went out into the field and they got like tens of thousands of pounds of potatoes that were left that, that the farmer didn't even know about, but because we went out and looked for it, there was an unexpected level of abundance. And how many servings is that? Like 60,000 servings.
Right.
So, if it's 20,000 pounds, I mean, this is crazy. And,
Right.
and seeing that abundance, and, I never grew up in an agricultural environment. I didn't have any friends that were in agriculture. Grew up in Fairfax County. But so seeing in the field, seeing a massive amount of potatoes, massive amount of corn or
Right.
apples is just like it was
Overwhelming.
mind-boggling. It was mind-boggling at first, but you see how quickly it feeds hungry people and how quickly it lifts up the spirits
Right.
of people who need
Absolutely.
it.
Well
Yeah.
said.
And I'm thinking about what Dorothy said about if you don't know, you don't know earlier. And I didn't grow up in an agricultural world either. And I had no idea until 6 years ago how much food goes to waste.
For sure.
And Jesus said, you will always have the poor with you, right? And so our poverty level in this country is unbelievable. We're up to almost 50 million now. 48 million Americans are hungry or food insecure. A third of those are children. We're better than that.
Right.
And then so to look at the poverty levels and look at how much food goes to waste, 133 billion pounds of food goes to waste. If we can harvest that food and rescue it and redirect it,
Right.
we're helping.
Exactly.
We're
Yeah.
feeding people that need the food. So to me, it's not a production problem. It is a distribution.
Yeah, I was
problem.
going to say just getting
There you
it from
go.
point A to point B.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
and that's what SOSA does with a network of farmers, of
Just letting the
volunteers.
farmers know that if they don't if they don't harvest everything that's on their land, they can still have somebody clean,
Yep.
and you'll be able to get something
Yep.
off of it.
I was looking on your website and your Facebook page, and you spoke on this in your introduction. But the mission statement for the Society of St. Andrew, which I think is so eloquently presented, your mission is the mission of St. Andrew is to bring people together to harvest and share healthy food, reduce food waste, and build caring communities by offering nourishment to hungry neighbors. And I love the word nourishment, the word caring, and offer. I love all of these words because they do give like a virtual hug, companionship. It's not, we're giving you junk food. We're giving you spoiled food. I love the word nourishment because, like you said, uplifting. When you give somebody something that is of value, of nourishment, that is not just to keep them fed physically, but keep them fed, spiritually, mentally, all of those components. And I love just the wording that it didn't come out of obligation. It was very heartfelt. And so I was really drawn to that when I was looking. You're right. This has been going on for over 40 years, close to 50 years that this has been happening. So let listeners know where you are serving. Is this just a Virginia thing? Is it multiple states? Like, what does this community look like that you're sharing with?
I was going to say we're in
National.
10 or 11 regional offices across 10 different states. Mostly in the deep South, like in Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Carolinas.
I saw where I'm from on there, Delmarva. That's the Delaware, Maryland, Virginia
yeah, cool.
Peninsula. I already stalked that. I wanted to make sure my people were doing right, and they were.
That's our newest office.
Yeah, I was really happy to
22.
see that.
Yeah. And then Ohio and Indiana.
Right.
So
Indiana was the next newest office, opened in 2018.
And it all started here.
yeah.
Yeah, 46
Is it
years
hoping
ago
to
in
expand
June. Yes.
upward, north,
Yeah, that's a
or-
whole nother conversation, Dorothy. Yes, we are currently,
Think big.
excuse me, pardon me. We are working on increasing our endowment, and we are expanding. Currently, we have an Ohio gleaning coordinator right now in Ohio working around the Cincinnati area.
Mm-hmm.
And we are expanding and in the process of getting a regional director. So each of the 10 offices that Ben mentioned in the 10 different states, they have 2 employees. They have a regional director and a program coordinator. And they're usually housed, our overhead's super low, which is another great selling point. And if no one believes us, please come to 3383 Sweet Hollow Road and come see our headquarters, our office on a gravel
Amazing
road.
things come out of small places.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, see where we really began the sheep shed.
right,
Yeah.
Over next to
that's true.
the house. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Marion's house. But no, our overhead is low, And that's a great thing that we can tell funders, but we're not out there spending, money
Right.
and grandiose. But the same goes in our 10 regional offices. Most of the time, the office is housed in a church, and the church will charge us $150 or $200 a month rent. Whether we use their internet or not, I think is what that difference is. Sometimes the church donates the space as their outreach to their
Right.
community. So our overhead is low. Each office has 2 main employees. And we probably did across the United States in 33 of the states we gleaned last year and distributed to all 48 states. And probably about 22 million pounds, roughly 21.
So you're not just servicing where your offices are; it's going
Yes.
beyond.
Yes.
Look at y'all just pushing those borders. I love it.
Yep.
I
Somebody
love
said,
that.
"Are you expanding?" Yes, we are
Yes.
expanding because the need is great, and the need is across the United
Right.
States.
Right.
So what we do in Virginia helps Virginia, but we do help the neighboring counties where
Excellent.
we can get food.
That is also good to know as well. So the website is endhunger.org. And what I like doing, what I just kind of alluded to, is you can click on a tab and see the regional offices. And I love seeing the breakdown of the pounds of food gleaned. I think everything right now is for 2024, obviously. The amount distributed, the amount of fresh food shared, volunteers, events and recipient partners, and more. So I think the transparency is very important for someone that's thinking about getting involved. I always advocate transparency anyway. And so, like my grandmother said, if you don't have anything to hide, you just tell the same story to everybody. And so I always value when businesses, organizations, so forth are transparent. And also on the website, I saw, and you have spoken about this, that 1 in 8 Americans struggle with food insecurity. But your organization, like you said earlier, Ben, is bridging the gap. So, Ben, what does the timeline look like from the time a farm or orchard says, hey, you can glean on our property? So what does the timeline look like from we're gleaning and then the person or the group gets the food?
Well, I guess from the time the farmer makes the offer to us to when we get there, I wish there was one answer on that. Sometimes it's the day of.
Oh, okay.
If it's a local farmer and I happen to be available, then I could say, oh, well, do you mind if I show up today?
Okay.
Who knows? But it could, typically the ones we've been working with, consistently year after year, they'll tell us, at least a couple months in advance.
Okay.
Or a month in advance.
So you have
It
some
just depends.
very, like on the schedule, like very established, like regulars that donate.
Yeah. And we know generally, of course, weather permitting,
Right.
and climate permitting, we know generally when, an orchard around here may choose to donate some of their windfall apples,
It
or
would
apples
be-
that
It
are
would
gleaned
be
from the ground.
It would be appropriate to do a shout out to Gross's Orchard.
That was
And
my
Johnson's
next question.
Orchard.
And
I was
Johnson's
like, is there
Orchard.
anybody you want to brag on?
and
Shout out
Danny
to-
Johnson.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Danny Johnson, Ronnie Gross, Darren Greer in Reiner, Virginia, Windy Hills Farm. Beautiful property.
And those are your regulars.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, some of our regulars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Marker Miller Orchards in Winchester, Virginia.
Wonderful.
So,
To
Wonderful.
tag on to that,
Mhm.
when they glean the farmer's market that afternoon at the end of the market, those produce makes it to the table that night.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Thank
Makes
you.
it to
So
that-
it
yeah.
can happen that fast.
Gate Ministries comes to our market at the Forest Farmers Market. They will glean, and then it'll be at a table that night.
So just so people that may not understand that whole concept, what I'm understanding is if a producer doesn't sell everything at the farmer's market instead of taking it home,
At
the other organization who's connected with St. Andrew will pick it up.
St. Andrew Society of St. Andrew volunteers.
Okay.
What it
Yeah.
is Society St. Andrew identifies an organization, which at Forest is Gate Ministries.
Okay.
At the end of the day, they go around to the different farmers and do you have extra, if it's something that's going to spoil, like tomatoes or lettuce or things like that, they'll glean that. They'll get they'll take the poundage of what they're donating
Mm-hmm.
and identify which farmer they've used, and Gate Ministries goes and distributes to local families that have food insecurities.
That day.
That afternoon is when they get
Wow.
And as far as I know, Dorothy, they hand deliver it
Yes.
sometimes to
Yes.
individuals. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
My next question is, what are you accepting? Is it all fruits and vegetables? Do you do dairy products? Do you do eggs? Do you do meat products? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, generally it's healthy food, and fresh produce. I mean, by and large, it's fresh produce because,
I mean, that's what I think of when I think
Yeah.
of gleaning, but I didn't know if someone's like, I have eggs or I
Oh,
have
yeah.
cheese. Like, what
say we
does
gleaned
that
it at
look like?
the Forest Market.
Yeah,
before.
we have had
Yeah.
eggs donated. There's also a lot of times the organ meats
Mhm.
don't go at the market,
Mhm.
and I have known a few of the meat farmers that will donate that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
To answer that question, yes, it is primarily fresh produce, fruits and vegetables. But yes, we would take eggs, and
You would see
and
that
we
it
have in
gets-
North Carolina, we have an egg farmer. No, it's not Wake Forest. Anyway, there's in North Carolina, there's a big egg distribution and collection. In Delmarva, they've done fish.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah, they've gleaned fish.
yeah,
how
yeah,
cool is
and we've done milk and dairy and other
Excellent.
places too, and water. But
I think catfish too, right? In Delmarva,
yeah, I think big catfish.
sounds yummy.
So what I want to talk about next is two parts. And you can split this up or you can chime in. I want to know, how can farmers in this area get involved, and what does that look like? Like, what do you need from the ag world? And then I also want you to say what folks that are not in the ag world, what can they do to help you? So I want to see both sides of the fence perspective of what y'all need from everybody.
Well, I was going to say, to start, maybe with the farmers.
Okay.
If you have, and this goes out to any farmer in Virginia or any of the areas we work. You know, if you have extra produce, you can't sell at the market. You can't sell on your CSA. That's still fit for human consumption. Then you give us a call. Give me a call.
And so it doesn't have to be. So if someone like we have some grapes, and if we couldn't sell them all, we could call you up, or would we have to have a pre-registration that we're in the system, or I could just literally say, hey, we're not going to get all these grapes this year.
No, there's no registration involved.
So literally just call you.
Yeah, you can call me, and as long as we may ask for if we know ahead of time, we may ask if it's a large load. We ask for pictures sometimes of the truck,
Right.
and we ask about the maybe the quality
Right.
of it. But by and large, yeah, I mean, if you are who you say you are, and you have fresh produce to share, that's still good to eat, we're not going to ask questions about that.
And so you're talking about farmers, not gardeners, or are gardeners included?
They can be included
Okay.
if they have extra.
Okay.
And wholesalers. We work with Cisco, Virginia, near Mount Crawford, near Harrisonburg. They typically have a few pallets of goods every now and then.
So do you
the
have a
fresh produce.
minimum? Like, you won't come out, what are the real required? Like, if someone's like, well, I have tomatoes just coming out of my ears this summer.
Like gardeners,
Yes.
we have a program called Share Our Surplus.
Okay.
And that is when your backyard gardeners have surplus and they can bring it, they can call us, or they can take it to their church and sell it at their church, or make it available to underserved people.
Okay.
And if they sell it, then the proceeds go to Society of St. Andrew to help feed hungry people.
One thing to note, though, is when they donate, there's a certain, I don't know the poundage, but there is a tax credit that goes to the farmer.
Okay.
So that's
Good
an
point,
incentive for them to know that, yes, they're doing this donation and it's for the good of the community, but there's also a tax
There's a-
credit.
okay,
There's,
that's
there's
also-
that
That's a
financial-
benefit. And before we mic'd up, we were talking about the other kind of security. If people were concerned about donating, whether from their garden or their farm, and I know we still need to talk about how the non-ag world, I'm just putting a bookmark right there for a second. But we did talk about the Good Samaritan Act that Congress passed in 1996. And this is where the donor is protected from any liability concerns in donating. Did you want to speak on that to maybe encourage people like, hey, it's good. We got this under control.
Yes, the Bill Emerson Act was passed because some growers and farmers, donors, were concerned about being held liable if you know,
an outbreak
someone-
or something.
yeah, if there would have been some illness or sickness. But they passed the Bill Emerson Act that provides protection for the growers and
Okay.
the farmers.
So we have the tax benefit.
and the tax benefit.
And then
yes.
we have this that's a security, like it's good, it's coming from a place of goodness, intention, and so forth. So you're protected. So there's really no reason
Mhm.
not to participate.
Right.
Okay.
And most farmers that we talk to, they grow their food to feed people. So they don't want it to go to waste. They want it to go to feed people. So yeah, if they're protected and they get a tax benefit,
It seems like a perfect.
no brainer.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So, did you have anything else to add before we hop over to the non-farmers efforts in helping? Did you have anything else that you wanted to say? How farmers could get involved, or anything, or did you touch on all the key points?
I say I think collectively we pretty much covered it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just would say if a farmer can't get Ben, call Chesley. Chesley will come out to your farm and help glean too.
Yeah.
It's an experience if you've never had it.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Talking
have,
about doing God's will, we've had it. To go and glean in the morning, and my experience, the first time it happened to me,
Mm-hmm.
I gleaned up in Covesville peaches. And so 2 hours I spent gleaning through the peaches
Mhm.
and then delivered several bushels to an at-risk youth community in Lynchburg.
Mm-hmm.
And the looks on those people's faces when we walked up with a couple crates of free peaches, it's like a delicacy. But the looks on their faces and the feeling that it gives you, you're doing God's will. I mean, and there's no better place to be or no better feeling. So I can preach it.
Say it.
I can preach it. Sorry.
Say it. It needs to be said. Say it.
But if you've not had the experience of gleaning in Johnson's orchard, and you're picking those apples off the tree, and then you load them up in your car and you go deliver them to somebody who needs them, it's incredible.
Gratifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
and sometimes off the ground too,
Yes.
like right next to the tree. We do windfall apples. As
Yeah, because I know with ag regulations, if it hits the ground, you can't sell it.
we
but
have to
you can.
we have to tag it too
Mhm.
that it must be cooked before.
Right.
and separate it from that which came from the tree.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, so I mean, it sounds like you have everything noted per requirements, and it seems like this is not willy nilly.
And all of our employees and some of our volunteers are trained in food safety training. We've been
Oh,
working with
perfect.
Virginia Tech, and we have food safety training that teaches our volunteers and our staff right from wrong,
Right.
if you will, and what the regulations
Yeah,
are.
this is very
Food
mindful.
safety.
I think, not to mention 46, going on 47
Yeah.
or years
46.
that you've been doing this. And then how you have everything already marked out and thought out, not just for the recipients, but for your volunteers. I think this is just a very mindful nonprofit that you really have thought of everything in safety and in heartfelt generosity. So folks that do not have a farm or a garden, what do you want from them? How can they help you? What can they do to support you?
I think at the most fundamental level, I would say becoming more aware of food insecurity and hunger in our country. Not just in our country, but more locally.
Like right in our backyard.
Yeah, literally. I mean, hunger. I think an important thing to keep in mind, and something that I'm always reminded of while in this job at Society of St. Andrew, is that hunger does not look like one thing, just one thing. I mean, it's it can look like very many different things in different communities, and thus there is not one. If it was one organization or one person that could bridge this gap, then we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this right now. I mean,
Right.
it's a collaborative effort across
Yes.
everybody.
Yes. And we partner with so many. We partner with the farmers, with the volunteers, with organizations, with churches, with individuals. It's partnership and a network that spans across the United States. It's incredible, and across Virginia. And we're strengthening that. I have to say, too, we were talking about we're strategic. You were talking about, our nonprofit. We're strategic, and we're strategic in looking. We partner with Feeding America, Tackle Hunger, and USDA. We go on their sites. Feeding America, for instance, has a map, the meal gap. And you can go on there by state, click on it, and it'll give you a map of your state, and it'll show you where the highest rates of poverty are in your state. Oh, yeah, it's really cool. And so we're currently putting together our map. We've done one for Georgia. We're doing one for Virginia because I'm eating it up. we take that map and show where the poverty is, and then we put an overlay of where we're working in Virginia, where we have area gleaning coordinators and Tidewater, Winchester, Charlottesville. We have one in Roanoke now, in Southwest Virginia, and we put where we have providers, and then we're making sure that we're taking the food from the providers and zeroing in on that highest need area. Or if that area is not getting food, we're getting it there.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm like really excited about that. And
I feel like
we're strategic.
I feel like this has been a really great podcast. And I really hope people hear what has been spoken and want to get involved, which leads me to one of our last questions. How can people connect with you? And do you have anything coming up, a fundraiser or anything on the calendar that you just need to talk about before we end this part part of our podcast?
We have lots to talk about. We're not done yet. We've just begun.
Yeah. Well, you can visit our website, endhunger.org. It has contact info for all of our different regional offices and our nationwide kind of
800
email
number if you need to call us.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can stop by our office at 3383 Sweet Hall Road, Big Island. I
don't think it's a stop by situation. I think it's a field trip.
Yeah.
You take a day trip to come out to the country, but it's worth it.
And for our volunteer sign up system, we're on Mobilize. So you can visit mobilize.us/endhunger. And you can find opportunities in your area to volunteer and glean.
You can also click on volunteer on our website, right?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah, so that's there too.
And we'll be sure to put your website and all that information when we have the podcast that's posted. We'll put that information too, just really trying to connect everybody that needs to be connected. So anything else you need to say before we go to announcements? This has been a eye-opening interview.
You can go or I can, but in May, we're going to have two events coming up. We're going to have a
May
Lynchburg,
3rd.
May 3rd/4th. More details to come.
I want to say it. I want to say it out loud.
It's a Lynchburg, Virginia potato distribution. And then one in I think the town limits of Bedford coming up.
You're not being specific, Ben.
Listen here. She's going to get on you. Y'all work this out. Do you say whatever you need to say?
No. That was that contentious. We're not contentious. I'm just going to spill the beans. After this meeting, we're going to go over to Bedford Elementary School, and we're excited to promote and say and announce we are having a potato drop or a crop drop, which is going to be about 25,000 pounds of potatoes, squash,
And that will be this summer?
May 3rd, honey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saturday, May 3rd. It's going to be in the Bedford Elementary School parking lot. We'll have volunteers from all over Bedford. We're partnering with, obviously, the Bedford Elementary School and the Bedford Police Department.
Yes.
Okay, that's the part that the question, but I think we are. And anyway, we are partnering with Bedford Elementary School.
We've been in contact with them.
Yes.
With this event.
And it's going to be a big event. We'll give away 25,000 pounds of fresh, healthy food, and we're going to pack it up that day and distribute it. I think we're doing
And that'll be
a
on
little
your
drop-off.
Facebook page?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll announce it. Facebook, which is
Instagram.
Sosa VA Glean, and then our Instagram, which is Sosa_VA_Glean.
It's all
Someone
good.
had already took that username. I don't know how.
So on
But-
Facebook, it's SOSA.
VA, and then the word Glean.
Okay.
And then it's the same, and it's the same for Instagram, except there's an underscore between Sosa and Virginia, and then Virginia and Glean.
Okay.
But yeah, and for farmers markets and farmers in general, I think the farmers market Bureau of Virginia posted on their Instagram page our new
BAFMA.
our work with
Kim Hutchinson, probably.
Kim Hutchison, and then Virginia Tech Sarah Grant for the for gleaning safety training. So like food safety training.
I love all this.
So, yeah.
Well, I feel like this could be an even longer conversation, but I think we have really got people excited and interested and hopefully invested in being a part of bridging the gap and getting the food where it needs to be. So I want to thank you both for being here with a plethora of information and excitement in being part of this. So thank you for that. We're now going to turn to our ag announcements. Before we do that, I would just want to share that we would like to continue to grow our social media presence. So please follow, and share our Bedford County, Virginia Agriculture Facebook page. We want to reach as many folks as possible. And just so you know that today's episode will be posted on our Facebook page with a link provided, so then you can share from this podcast and our social media presence as well. But anyway, as you know, we had a co-host today. Miss Dorothy was here. And so I'm going to let her share all things that deal with Forest Farmers Market and Manita's Farmers Market. And then we'll talk about some other announcements, but I just want her to get to expand on those two things.
Thank you so much. So, so Forest Farmers Market has one more winter market. It's April 12th, 9 to noon. It's starting to look pretty full.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guest vendors, a lot of interest in the market right now, both ag and artisan related. So that's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We open up our main season April 26th. We change times from 8 to noon, and that should be a full season, starting to see the produce come back in, right? We had that deep freeze that 6 weeks ago, and a lot of the hardy greens just couldn't make it through that.
Right.
So we'll get to see the fresh greens coming in April. And Manita Market will start the first Wednesday in May. That's from 3 to 6 on Wednesdays. I didn't mention Forest is on Saturdays.
And tell us the location of
The location of the Forest is 15583 Forest Road. It's behind the Forest Library.
Mm-hmm.
And Manita, I don't remember the address, but it is next to the Manita Smith Mountain Lake Library.
Excellent.
So we partner with the libraries for that.
And Manita starts back what?
The Manita will start back the first Wednesday in May,
Okay.
3 to 6.
And that's on Wednesday.
Wednesdays.
Mhm.
And I'm still looking for some vegetable farmers for that one. There will be a general meeting April 10th at the Smith Mountain Lake Manita Library from 6 to 7. That's a Wednesday.
For people that are interested
Anybody that's interested in coming and vending at the market.
at the Manita Market.
Yes.
Okay. And so if they need, so do you have all your spots full for Forest as in regards to vendors for the 2025 year?
I entertain stuff that I don't have from
Okay.
vendors that I don't already carry.
Is there a particular genre that you're looking for? That
I would love to see cheese, but that's not in our area.
okay, so if anybody
Cheese is
is an artisan cheesemaker, please connect with
Miss.
Miss.
Are in the Bedford area.
Okay,
Manita, I will entertain anybody at this point
because
right
it's
now.
growing, it's
Yes,
up and coming.
It's only its third year, so it's still in its early stages.
Right.
So I would entertain pretty much.
And Forest has been going on for how many years?
Actually, this is the 15th year. We're going to celebrate the 15th
Yay!
year.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming, but
Excellent. So in comparison, Manita is the baby.
it is.
And so it's still getting established and creating
It has a
its
strong
roots.
base.
Yeah.
It just needs a little bit of growth. It really has a nice, strong base, both in customers and vendors, and
Excellent.
support of the community.
Wonderful. And I have reached out to Montvale to see information about their upcoming market. So hopefully next month on the podcast, I can share something about the Montvale market. The Bedford Farmers Market, you can stay up to date on their Facebook page. I believe they have one.
They have
The 15th,
this weekend. they have
9 to 1. And they're located at West Washington Street at the Farmers Market Pavilion. So just follow their Facebook page and stay tuned for what they're offering, as well as hopefully Montvale Farmers Market will have some information to share with us. And then swinging into some other agritourism items, Lehman Family Farms located at 1815 Mountain View Church Road. It's off of 460. They say it's Blue Ridge. I consider it Montvale. But anyway, they are hosting a stunning new festival starting the weekend of March the 29th. It's the Virginia Flower Fest, and they will have, to quote them, a sea of over 50,000 blooming tulips. So I think that that's going to be a beautiful scene to witness. All the details and ticket pricing are available on their website, which is lehmanfamilyfarm.com. It's sure to be going to be a new local favorite. I just know it is. It's going to be beautiful and stunning, and I don't believe there's anything like that with tulips in our area. Now, Gross's Orchard is hosting something that is obviously a local favorite that's been going on for several years. On April the 12th, they will be hosting their yearly Apple Blossom Festival. There will be food, wagon rides, music vendors, and obviously a beautiful spot to enjoy the apple blossoms. Information is available on their Facebook page. And they are also doing like a hands-on class this coming Saturday. Dorothy, did you want to talk about what you saw on Facebook about their class that they're offering?
Sure. There's a gentleman in our area in Bedford County that's Matt Fortune, and he has Fortune Farm, I believe it's called. He will be at Gross's Orchard. Gross's Orchard would be hosting it.
Mm-hmm.
They will be doing a grafting workshop for apples. They'll be doing hands-on. They'll have the scion wood, and you'll be able to graft off of some of Gross's Orchard's apples, which they take just a twig off, and you kind of marry them together,
Mm-hmm.
and they grow, and it becomes a strong apple tree.
I believe
And that's
that is who worked with Johnny when we were doing some of that. He was a very insightful and knowledgeable person.
That's 10 to noon, I believe.
But check their Facebook page. Yes. And also, this is not ag related, but this is definitely heartfelt and genuine. Be sure to follow and support all things Media Squatch. We are so grateful to partner with Woody and his team here at Media Squatch. We had this idea about a podcast. Woody said, yes, we can make it happen. So please just be a good human and like, follow, share all things that deal with Media Squatch. All right. Lastly, if you want to attend one of our Ag Board meetings, you are more than welcome. Ag Board meeting times and minutes are always available online under the Ag Board tab on the Economic Development website. You're welcome to come and see what our board is up to at our monthly meetings. We value your input and hope to see you there. This is Melody Divers reminding you to be good to yourself and be good to others.